Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Trey, if you don't mind, I'd like to quote you from earlier this week. Just when you thought it was going to be a boring week, the Pope dies.
Mm-hmm. You get a conclave.
God damn it, I screwed it up. Yeah. Just when you think it's going to be a boring week, we get a conclave. I forgot that there's the eventual conclave, which is it's all the cardinals of the Catholic Church all come together into one room. They get locked inside of it, and they have to decide on who the new Pope is going to be. But and then we all start watching chimney smoke like crazy. But before all that happens, I forgot about all the other traditions that take place. Where did it go? Here it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of ancient traditions that really seem to be redundant at this point because of modern technology, but they still do them.
For example, with the death of Pope Francis, we're learning about the selection of a new pope, but there are also some very interesting things they do with the dead pope. Historic rites and rituals are performed after the death of a pope, including 3 blows to the head with a silver hammer. Well, they say it's supposed to be 3 gentle taps on the forehead, but the silver hammer part is accurate. And I know what you're thinking. Are they checking to see if anyone's home? Is this some really weird Catholic version of a werewolf test? It's actually the former. They're making sure he's dead. Look, I like traditions. I like routine. But I think that's one that, like you said, Trey, technology exists that you can find out if there's anyone still at home inside the Pope. You don't need to use the silver hammer method, although it is very entertaining.
Well, it also the other interesting thing about it is when they're doing that, they use his first name. Now, so he's been going by Pope Francis since 11 years? I think he was. So now they go, whack. Jorge, hey, you in there? Jorge.
Frank, you in there? Frank?
What if you're a really heavy sleeper and the 3 taps don't work?
Well, that's when you the strength test at the arcade or at the state fair with the really big hammer. Frank, you in there? Hey, look, high score. I get a free turkey leg. Frank, wake up.
What if he?
There's a naked lady in here.
What if he did? No,
he's not moving.
What if he did? He's like, how long have I been out?
What I miss. No, you're right. Yeah, they actually they tap him on the head. Certain rites and rituals follow the death of a pope, including tapping his forehead with a silver hammer. It is the Carmelengo's duty to perform the rite, administering 3 gentle taps on the Pope's forehead and calling him by his first name. It's the traditional way of making sure a Pope has died. Thank you. Thank you, Catholicism, for keeping certain traditions alive. Did they air that, by the way? Have they done that test, or is that the last thing they do before they take him out of lying in state?
Oh, no, this is done in his typically the pontiff dies in his quarters, and so it's all done while he's in his bed and
behind closed doors, like
behind
there's no
closed
TV
doors.
Oh man, see, I want to watch that.
The breaking of the seal.
I want to see the tapping of the Pope. Carry that live on cable news.
They got to crush his ring, like the ring the papal ring that he wears. They
have to break it.
Yeah,
they have to crush it. You just have to break it,
okay.
Then melt it down to a new one. But this Pope, typically those are gold rings. This one chose sterling silver, which may prove harder to break, but
which also served as another test that he was in fact not a werewolf.
Yes. But all these things happen for a reason. Like the tapping of the head, that had to happen for a reason. Like they thought someone was dead.
There was one time.
That's it.
Some dude woke up. They're like, okay, yeah, you got to start tapping these guys.
Yeah. They're putting the holy water on him and it gets splashed in the face. And it's like, hey, what's going on? We thought you were dead. No.
Well, isn't that the old grave, like the old grave worker type thing in where a body gets buried and then they tie a string or something somewhere in the hole, and then there's a bell that sits on top of the grave for just in case they wake up after being buried and be like, a little help, please.
Yeah. And there have been instances, I believe there was like 1 or 2 where the bell rung and they had to get this person out of the ground.
Another ritual sees the destruction of a papal symbol known as the Annulus Piscatoris, or a piscatory ring. I feel like they should have renamed that, but whatever. The ring represents the first pope, St. Peter, who was a fisherman. Usually, the remnants of the destroyed ring are used to make a new one for a late pope's successor. This is just Lord of the Rings stuff now.
That's as precious.
When the late Pope Francis assumed the papacy, is it papacy? Papacy?
Papacy.
Papacy. In 2013, he opted for a ring made of gilded silver rather than the traditional ring of yellow gold. Just like you said there, Trey. There you go. This rite includes certain steps leading up to the rings being destroyed. See, this is Lord of the Rings. I feel like this Pope's death is being directed by Peter Jackson. Be really interesting, though, if the Pope gets to the gates and St. Peter's standing there with a big staff and says, "You shall not pass." And would he be shocked? Like, really? Not even me? The destruction symbolizes the end of a pope's rule with the creation of a new ring representing a new pope, assuming the papacy, the new ring to rule them all, is my assumption.
It's the person you want to be pope is the person who doesn't want to be pope. But the problem is, it's as much as they want to think it's a holy process. It's a bunch of, power hungry cardinals that all, jockeying for position.
It's a room full of dudes swearing up, down, left, right, sideways. I don't want to be the Pope. Not at all. No, I don't want to. All right. One of you's got to at least say yes.
Well, and
one of you's got to say, all right, I'll do it.
That is the fascinating thing about Pope Francis is he came to the story. He was in the process of resigning when Benedict, he wanted to be transferred back to, he's from Argentina, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be, basically demoted and not be a cardinal anymore, or basically go back to Argentina when Benedict was resigning, and Benedict was like, you need to be Pope, and he didn't want it.
See, that tells me that the 3 taps to the forehead are not gentle taps. He knows he's going to get smacked in the head with a silver hammer 3 times, and he doesn't want to have to endure that.
I think he knows he'll be dead. So yeah. I don't think that's the. It's just one of those like Terry was saying, like some people that's why they vote because you don't have a choice then. So if it's a unanimous vote, then it's you, even if you don't want it.
Even if you're trying to take the Nazi way out and run to South America, the Catholic Church will find you. And you know what? Maybe the 3 smacks to the head with the silver hammer. Look, it clearly works. Maybe it's not only a tool to see, or maybe it's not only a test to see if you are in fact dead, but if you wake up after the first or second, then you get 2 more just to make sure the job is finished, because we've already started up the smoke and the fire, and we're already printing out little pieces of paper for ballots.
I mean, maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe they just like the game of Whack-A-Pope.
The best of the State Fair games.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
833-COOK-DFW. That is the phone number to get your free roof inspection and to get on the Cook list with Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. 833-COOK-DFW, the website cookdfw.com. We got a recent reminder, Daniel, that storm season is no longer 1 season out of 4. It is year-round in North Texas, and a severe storm can pop up anytime, and that means at any moment you may have some roof damage.
Yeah, Dan, we stopped being springtime storms years ago, and so now, and I try to educate everybody that you shouldn't protect your roof from the storms. You should protect your roof because it's the thing that you need to do where we live. We've all made a conscious decision about living here in Texas, and exactly the DFW Metroplex. We have strong storms, but we also have extreme temperatures. We have extreme winds. We have all kinds of things that our homes take a beating on. So you really need to protect your roof year round because it's the right thing to do for your home. And so it's really easy. You call us out, we come out, we inspect your roof. If you don't need anything, we high five each other. We say, see you next year. If you do, we take some pictures. We take some measurements. We show you what your home needs. It may not be a whole roof. It may be just some small repairs that will extend your roof life. But when you let small things go on your home, they always turn into larger, and that's where it goes downhill really fast. So all you have to do, give us a shout. We'll come out. We'll give you an honest opinion about it, and then you can make a decision.
Love that about you guys. No pressure. Decision is yours. So give them a call. Let them come out and do just that. 833-COOK-DFW. 833-COOK-DFW, or the website cookdfw.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse Show was brought to us by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. To make sure your roof is ready for the next storm, call to get your free roof inspection. 833-COOK-DFW. 833-COOK-DFW. Get your house looked at to make sure you and your family and your home are safe from the next storm that's going to come. 833-COOK-DFW, or the website cookdfw.com. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Do you guys ever miss your school days?
Yeah.
What about substitute teacher school days? Weren't those the best when they rolled in that television? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Those days are obviously gone for the 3 of us, but that doesn't mean substitute teacher days aren't still fun. Like this substitute teacher day in Florida, it was truly action-packed. A former substitute teacher in Florida. That should give you a pretty big clue right there. A former substitute teacher in Florida is facing felony charges after she allegedly encouraged 2 middle school students to fight. Tasha Holmes is 20. She was arrested by, seems kind of young for a substitute teacher, doesn't it?
The requirements are weird because I think you have to have 30 hours and a C average if you want to just be a substitute.
Okay. Not sure what the requirements are in Florida, but that sounds like Texas stuff. I would assume similar. Anyway, Tasha Holmes was arrested by Hendry County School Resource Officers on April 16th after a parent showed officials a video on her child's cell phone of an in-class altercation between 2 students the day before. The censored video appeared to show Holmes, the substitute teacher, holding back one student who was being taunted by another. As both students continue to argue, Holmes can be heard telling them to deal with their issues outside of school at the park. One of the kids wasn't even a student in the class. How'd this kid get in here? That part doesn't seem to come up again in the story. One of the kids wasn't a student in the class. Holmes had requested that the front desk send the student who wasn't even in the class into her classroom, although it's unclear why. Now they're saying they're really taken aback by the behavior of what we saw, what we heard on this video. This is according to police department spokesperson. At one point, she tells the students in one of the videos that they need to take it outside or take it off school campus and take it to the park. The police captain went on to say, "You don't encourage children to fight."
Yeah, you do.
I, for one, give the teacher credit. She did not break the first rule of Student Fight Club, which is, of course, you do not talk about Student Fight Club. I mean, hell, it was video evidence that took her down. I mean, Tyler Durden would be proud. The district says she passed background checks and has been working in the district for the past 2 years. So that means conceivably she started working at the district when she was 18. The superintendent told the local news that the district is continuing to add safety layers to our schools and said that Holmes has since been fired and banned from all Hendry County schools.
That's so unfortunate. Like that's an old saying, like take it to the yard. Like that's an old saying. And that's what she did. She's like, don't do this in my class. Take it outside.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
And you know what? I am too. But the truly alarming thing is when we were in school, the substitute teacher would roll in the television.
Yeah.
With this substitute teacher, she rolled in the bully who doesn't even go to the school, isn't even in the class, to confront the kid. And then had the gall to say, y'all need to take this outside.
Where did she find that kid?
I'm wondering, did they know each other? There's so many questions with this story.
I mean, it sounds like she was running a, undercover fight club that she had money. She had money on the outside kid that
she did. Yeah. She had money on the ringer.
Yeah.
We have like a Florida version of Fight Club, which turns into basically a mashup of Student Fight Club and Student Blood Sport at the Kumite at the park.
I'm sure there's a gator in there somewhere.
It's 2 middle school students and a gator.
Yeah.
Can we put that on TV right after the smacking of the Pope with a hammer? ESPN The Ocho is going to be great this weekend.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Join us Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for our monthly-ish Treehouse live stream exclusively for our Ultimate Treehouse subscribers. To sign up, go to patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair. Facebook.com/Treehouse On Air, and we'll see you next Tuesday. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. How do you know that you had a good Easter? I'll tell you how. These Texas residents got a surprise Easter gift. Packages of cocaine washed up on their coastline. Yeah, party time. The packages were reportedly tossed into the ocean by smugglers hoping to evade capture during a drug raid. Police urged the public to contact police immediately if they find anything unusual during their beach visits. Meanwhile, upon hearing the news, Raj's alma mater, Texas State students, have declared spring break 2 cocaine boogaloo.
All right.
Yeah. There might be another possibility to this story. It might not have been panicked drug smugglers. You know, maybe some countries just celebrate Easter differently. Colombian kids might not have the Easter bunny. Maybe they have Peter Cocaine Tail. And maybe instead of Easter egg hunts, maybe they have 8-ball searches. Just trying to keep an open mind.
Maybe it's the Galveston Chamber of Commerce just going, come enjoy our dirty ass water, but you might walk away with a kilo.
You might. And let's be honest, Texas beaches are not exactly up there as far as the tourism demand like other American beaches. I mean, have you ever seen advertisements for the Texas coast? It's not close-ups of the beach like in Florida or what is it, Orange Beach, whatever it is in Alabama. They'll have nice, pretty photos and videos of up close of the sand and the water. In Texas, it's usually like a drone shot a mile high that just shows sand and water. It's like we got it, but it's not very pretty. But it's there. That's kind of it's. I don't know what the Texas beach, slogan is for tourism, but it's got to be up there with the one from the 80s. Oklahoma is okay. Texas beaches, yes, we have some. I mean, Florida has some beautiful beaches with white sand and greenish turquoise-ish waters. You're right, Trey. I mean, come to the coast. You might get a kilo of drugs to sell. You might make it rich.
Come for the beach, stay for the blow.
Yeah. You don't even need the metal detector. You don't even have to look like a nerd. You can actually just comb the beach and looky what I found.
Texas beaches. You have no idea what our street value is.
and since the beaches are not white powdery sand, you'll be able to see the cocaine very clearly. The problem is it's Texas, and you've got to get there before Michael Irvin and any other NFL players hear about it.
Come to the beach. It's like living a scratch off. Might get a shark bite. Might get a kilo.
Mm-hmm. You might get both.
Yeah.
In the story, I saw one of the packages that had supposedly washed up on the beach. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not like this is not like a random party in Addison on a Thursday night type of thing. I mean, it's
not an 8-ball.
No, this is like
it's the whole table.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole table. And yeah, it absolutely is. That is outstanding. This is not the first time packages of cocaine have washed up on the shores of coastal communities. Last year, more than 100 pounds of narcotics were discovered along Florida's shores in the wake of Hurricane Debbie. See, that's one way a hurricane is not so bad, because you go outside and your house might be gone, but it might have been replaced by a whole lot of cocaine.
Yeah, and you sell the cocaine and you build a new house.
I wonder if this has sparked a industry of, especially post-storm, people rushing down to the beaches to see if they can find drugs. Better than a metal detector.
Yes. You don't have to look like a nerd with a metal detector. You can go down there, like what are the Japanese sand garden things that you're supposed to keep on your desk? You just go down there with like a big rake and you just do that. And you're like, look, here's what I found.
And who do you sell? Like, okay, let's see. You do pick up a kilo of cocaine. What do you do? I mean, and you don't do cocaine, because if you do cocaine, you're set for a while. You're solid.
Yeah.
But who do you sell it to?
Here's what you do. If you love drugs, if you love cocaine, and you find a huge shipment of it that has washed up on the Texas coast, you take it to Brenham, Texas, which is home to Bluebell, because Bluebell has the slogan, we eat all we can and we sell the rest. Use the same mentality with your drugs.
Okay. I snort all I could.
And
you can have the rest.
Sell the rest. Also, it'd make a hell of an interesting flavor out of Bluebell. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's going to be fun.
Confetti cocaine, unlike confetti cake cocaine flavor.
Pep and mint.
It's always a half pint of partying.
Blowberry.
There it is. That'll do.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Do you like to watch? Well, you can watch us. If you like listening to us, watching us might be interesting. You can do that on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for The Treehouse Show, or go directly to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@treehouseonair. That's youtube.com/@treehouseonair. Treehouse TV is on. This is The Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. That is Raj. Today is Thursday, April 24th. 2025. Saw something alarming this morning, and I realized, yep, I should probably share that with the guys and everyone here inside the Treehouse. Are you guys familiar with the video game / television show The Last of Us?
No.
Yes. In fact, I just started watching season 2 last night.
All right, good. Well, let's see. Hang on a second. I need to find my bleep here. Here's something that should absolutely scare the out of you. The science behind The Last of Us is real. The wildly successful video game and hit TV show is based on actual science, and we have proof. Okay? Hang on a second. I'm going to show you something very, very troubling.
Across something truly incredible tonight. In front of me is a tarantula that, unfortunately for it, has become infected by cordyceps.
So, Raj, since you have not seen or played The Last of Us, it's a post-apocalyptic movie, right? Okay. But it's not traditional zombies. It's zombies that are made out of fungus spores from the fungus known as cordyceps. And in the show, it is very freaky looking because it's basically zombies that got mushroom stems and stuff popping out of them. So it's very freaky. That's a real thing. And this is proof of it. Because this is a guy in a jungle somewhere who has found cordyceps that has taken over a tarantula and killed it. And just like you see in the television show and in the video game, the cordyceps sprouts are popping out of it to spread the deadly fungus. So here we go.
Stumbled across something truly incredible tonight. In front of me is a tarantula that, unfortunately for it, has become infected by cordyceps. Now, for those of you who don't know what cordyceps is, this is the zombie fungus that's the inspiration for the hit video game and TV show The Last of Us. And, well, this unfortunate tarantula is a character in his own movie here tonight. Now, he was infected by this fungus, and it took over his nervous system and forced him to come to this location And then as he died, the fungus sprouted out of his body, allowing the spores to spread to another unsuspecting tarantula. And this is actually a very rare species of cordyceps. We rarely encounter tarantulas like this. And when I say species of cordyceps, it's true. Each group of invertebrates has their own species of cordyceps, which infects them. So this is a truly horrific, but also incredible thing for our team to have found tonight.
And that guy is Chris Kitola. He's the head field research coordinator for Wilderness International. And that's his head right there next to that fungi spore spewing tarantula, sucking it all in.
But it's not going to, it won't infect him, will it?
Not yet.
No.
Oh.
What's that, Trey?
I said not yet.
Not yet. But this means everything that happens in The Last of Us could conceivably happen in real life. And that means if you want to survive, you need to find yourself a hairy survivalist and take his gay virginity. Granted, I've only seen season 1, but that's a solid example on how to survive, unless you want to become a cannibal. But either way, you're going to eat some meat.
Yeah. That's there were certain things I never needed to see in my life.
And one of them is episode 3, season 1 of The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's
very sweet. It's very endearing. Lots of touching.
Yeah, Nick Offerman. If I had never seen, I mean, and this is not, you know, there's some things I never needed to see, and Nick Offerman kissing another guy was one of them. It just, you know.
And that's okay. So I'm lost. That's how you save yourself.
That's how 2 particular men in the story had very, very seemingly enjoyable lives in the apocalypse. One fell. It's pretty interesting when you think about it, because you have a survivalist who has his own compound and he's by himself until a really attractive stranger falls in his hole, and then.
Were either one of them gay at first? Or is it just lack of options and eventually it happens?
So we have not started watching season 2 yet. We're rewatching season 1, and we just rewatched that episode. So I'll be happy to fill you in, Trey. It is fresh in my mind.
I'm sure you would, Dan.
Yes. But the guy that falls in the hole is gay. Okay. And the survivalist who made the hole that hadn't been filled as a trap had never been with a man, but he knew he was. And then this handsome stranger.
I thought he was married and like he lost his wife and kids.
No, Offerman's character lived in the house with his mama.
Oh, okay.
And then he had his survivalist basement stuff, and then mom had passed away, and he had never been with a dude. He'd been with a woman before.
And by the way, unless they figure out a way to tie that back in, that episode was completely superfluous to the series.
I both times I've seen that episode, and I've been left wondering, was that in the original video game? Because
what if it's like, hey, listen, like the whole thing is like gay dudes can't be infected by cordyceps. Like, what if that's
that's the tie-in?
Yeah.
I think some writers,
some of us are going to have a real hard decision to make.
But not you, Dan.
I'm going to live.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It's not gay if it's the apocalypse.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can get even more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. 3 different levels that you can subscribe to. Bonus content, subscriber-only episodes, including video, and it's all available at patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair. Subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. That is Raj Sharma. This is the Treehouse Show. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. But first, I had to do a quick Google. All I did was type, we were just talking about season 1, episode 3 of The Last of Us, right? Where it is the story of Frank and Bill. If you've seen it, you know. If you don't know, then you've already heard more than you may or may not have wanted to, but it is what it is. So I went to Google to find out, because even the second time watching season 1, I wondered, is it like this in the video game? Or was it something completely, as they would say, Hollywood indoctrination type of stuff? So I went to Google and just typed in, were Frank and Bill? And then I stopped to see what the suggestions would come up, to see what other people were searching. Those suggestions were Frank and Bill in the game. Were Frank and Bill gay in the game? Were Frank and Bill gay? Are Frank and Billy Ocean related? Now, how that got in there, but it is. Are Frank and Bill in The Last of Us? How long were Frank and Bill together? How old were Frank and Bill when they died? How old were Frank and Bill? How long were Frank and Bill together in The Last of Us? Was Frank Bill's boyfriend? So almost all of those people were curious. Although now I'm really curious about a Billy Ocean tie-in. But to answer the question as to whether or not Bill and Frank were in the game, and then if the TV show played it up or whatever, yes. Frank and Bill were in the game. Bill's character is implied to have had a romantic relationship with his partner, Frank, who lived with him in Lincoln for some time after the outbreak. In the games, they say we recognize that Bill is gay. However, in the show, we see how he struggled with that and overcame it, resulting in probably one of the most important episodes of television I've ever seen. That was according to somebody on Reddit. In the game, they say Bill only says he was my partner. And they also mentioned that Ellie finds the certain magazine in Bill's trash can, or in a basement, basically.
Frank Ocean is I think he's an R&B singer or a rapper it's implied that he's gay.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the Frank and Billy Ocean come from.
I think just Frank Ocean, and is Frank Ocean related to Billy Ocean? I don't know if that needs sexuality. I think people are probably just curious.
Yeah, I think they just got wrapped up in this one.
Yeah, I think that one.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, it was a stray.
Yeah. Anyway, so now you know. Birthdays today inside the Treehouse. We've got Steve Harrington on Stranger Things. The actor is Joe Keery. He is 33 years old today. Joe Keery, who plays Steve Harrington on Stranger Things, 33 today. Another one of those great examples of old people playing high school kids. Of course, at this point, as we've talked about before, when Stranger Things season 5 comes out, pretty much all these kids that started out as kids are all like in their 20s and 30s. Some of them maybe in their 40s. Hell, some of these kids may actually be retired, but they're still having to play high school kids in the series. They're probably just going to end up having to de-age them all, in post.
I'm pretty sure after the 5th season, all of them will be able to retire.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although I did see that, is it Gayton Matazzaro? He's the one of the Stranger Things kids that had he had the messed up teeth, had the curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was the one that plays Dustin. He's just been cast in the Animal Farm that is being produced by Andy Serkis. So he just joined a super star-studded cast that's going to be an animated film of the George Orwell famous book Animal Farm. Andy Serkis, Glenn Close, Gayton Matazzaro's in it. Woody Harrelson is in it, and also going to be, on the producing staff. I mean, it's a hell of a cast they're going to have for that. If you're a Orwell or Animal Farm fan, just there you go. Something I saw and I'm sharing.
I don't know that anyone is going to enjoy a modern Hollywood take on Animal Farm.
What's going to be interesting is to see how many parents unwittingly take their children to a cartoon movie, and they're going to see some things.
Yeah. Well, if you want to know what the next lightning rod will be of 2026, there you go.
Yeah, that'll be it for sure. Other birthdays today. Carly Pierce is 35. Tyson Ritter, the lead singer of the All-American Rejects, is 41. North Texas's own Kelly Clarkson is 43 today. Voice judge, talk show host, and American Idol winner.
Mm-hmm.
See?
And former Hyena's waitress.
That's right. I forgot about that. Was that the Arlington Hyenas or the Dallas Hyenas?
Arlington Hyenas. And when she got passed to go to Hollywood, whatever, they changed the story because they didn't want people to see her like being in a seedy night, a seedy club with, comics and drugs and all that stuff. So they gave her the movie theater thing that she had in high school.
That's so stupid. Look, Hyenas Arlington, it's just a comedy club. Mm-hmm. I lived in Arlington for many, many years. There are way, way, way worse clubs than Hyenas. I know because I've been to them. Especially the ones off of 157 in that little bit of no man's land between Fort Worth and Arlington.
Yeah, when she left, like she didn't even take her last paycheck and they just taped it to the wall. So yeah, that was pretty wild.
Good on her.
Yeah.
From Burleson to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Through not too bad. Arlington. It's pretty sad if you think about it. Like you would think at a comedy club, the most famous person to come through a comedy club, you would think would be a comedian, and instead it turned out to be a pop singer who just happened to be a server there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Let's see. Derek Luke is 51. He was the star of Antoine Fisher. Damon Lindelof is 52. He's the one that created Lost. He also helped to write Star Trek Into Darkness, Tomorrowland, and Prometheus. Rory McCann, who's the Hound on the Game of Thrones, is 56. Cedric the Entertainer, speaking of comedians, is 61. Also 61, prolific actor Jaimin Hunsu, 61. This is a guy who's been going back and forth between DC and Marvel for years as an actor. Mm-hmm. It's like he just goes from like DC to Marvel project back and forth. He's the Wizard in Shazam, which is DC, the Fisherman King in Aquaman, which is DC, Korath in both Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, that's Marvel. Mm-hmm. And he was also in Gladiator, Blood Diamond, and one of the bad guys in Furious 7.
And one of the best.
I believe his first film was as the lead in Amistad.
Amistad, yep.
Not a bad birthday day. Also, Raj's favorite, Barbara Streisand, is 83. Star of Funny Boy.
Why is it my favorite?
Because I needed a punchline.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise here inside the Treehouse. Sponsorship opportunities are available. If you're interested, just shoot us an email. treehouseonair@gmail.com. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. There is Raj. Today's Thursday, April 24th, 2025. We have the NFL draft is tonight. Round 1 of the NFL draft is tonight. Now, granted, we're all a little biased here because we're long-suffering Cowboys fans. But unless there's a new blue chip owner on the board, I don't know if I'm really looking forward to the draft tonight and the Cowboys pick at 12.
Yeah,
they'll screw it up.
Yeah, for sure. They'll get a kicker.
The one thing we don't need, and they would spend that in the first round. That actually would, that would actually be a Mavs type blunder.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the most intriguing thing about the draft will be where Shedeur Sanders goes.
Yeah.
And other than that, it seems to be a fairly lackluster draft.
That's what I thought was interesting. I was listening to our old buddy's station, old buddy Gavin Spittle's station, 105.3 The Fan, and they were saying something similar, that most of the consensus around the NFL, at least as far as quarterbacks are concerned, is there's not really a great one in here. But word is that Tennessee's still going to take a quarterback at number 1, which it makes me think it's like this is why the NFL is so stupid sometimes. Everyone pretty much agrees there doesn't seem to be a phenomenal quarterback in here, but they're still going to take one just to see. Especially when I also especially think the NFL is kind of stupid in this regard, because they don't have the greatest track record of being right when it comes to draft picks. I mean, look at how many quarterbacks get taken in the first couple of rounds, and how many of them turn out to be busts. The whole Ryan Leaf versus Peyton Manning thing. You know how many draft experts are saying, take Ryan Leaf, there's more talent, blah, blah, blah. Well, now look at those two in their careers. Love him or hate him, Dak Prescott is a top flight quarterback in the NFL, and he was taken in the 4th round.
Is he?
He's tops. He's top flight. I didn't say he's top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Top 50%, maybe.
Definitely top 50, easily top 25%. Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the 6th round pick of the New England Patriots. He is now considered to be the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, at least arguably.
Agreed. And, it's what Jerry has always wanted. It's why you explained some of the quarterback drafts, and from Quincy Carter to he's always wanted to find that jewel, that pearl in the late rounds that he could go, look at me, I am so genius. I drafted this person when everyone else was sleeping on him.
Yeah.
Hang on. Quincy Carter, Dak Prescott. You think Jerry Jones is looking for his black pearl?
I think he's looking for just the. Yes.
You might want to dig up the Pirates of the Caribbean, see if they have any insight that Mel Kiper doesn't. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow us on social media at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. We'll see you tomorrow, right back here inside the Treehouse.